Welcome, 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 confessors, guests, all who are coming in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. This, my dear, has been a long time coming in the making. Y'all just don't know behind the scenes. Two very busy bloggers trying to work and navigate and do this. It's a hard job. Please understand that. And that is why I want to have a one-on-one with someone who knows all about that, who's been in the game and who has basically taught me the game. Okay. Now, she was doing the most last night. She was turned up. So let's see how turned up we get this afternoon. Now, allow me to introduce my mentor, the one and only, you know her, and I know her as Cameshia Reviews. Hey, Mama Love. Hey, Boo. Hey. Turn your mic on. Mic off.
You can't.
Now I hear you. I hear you.
Mic is on.
I hear you now.
Okay.
It wasn't
Sorry.
on, but it's on now.
Internet.
You good. You good.
No, it's on. It's on. It's the internet trip. But go ahead. Go ahead.
How are you this afternoon?
I am, girl. I'm very good. Even though I was lit last night.
You was on one last night. You and Miss Lee with the T.
Yes.
Yeah.
We was. She in the chat. What's up, Lux?
What's up, Lux? Who is in this thing? Yes, you better hit that like button. Hey, Miss Vito.
Yes, hit the like button.
Yes. Now.
I'm ready. Got my drink. I'm ready.
I got my drink. So let's cheers.
I got my drink. I'm ready.
Let's cheers to finally getting together because this has been a long time in the making. You are a very busy woman, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
You are. You stay busy. You stay busy.
I try.
Now,
I
now I don't think I've told you this, but I have now renamed you the interview queen because, baby, you be doing these interviews every single day, just about every other day. You doing 1, 2, maybe 3 a day sometime. Honey, you have came a long way. A long way. So I want to start from the beginning because we didn't always know you as Cameshia Reviews. That's not how you really came onto the scene. You reinvented yourself. So tell me about when you first got onto the scene of being a blogger, baby. Because I heard you was a wild one back then.
All right. So the name I called myself, first it was Natural Hair Boss Lady, which is the typical natural hair channel, that I was starting as I had my natural hair. I had really big afro. I just couldn't find information or whatever. But I got bored with that, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't understand the analysts. I didn't understand organic, take the time, a lot of things I didn't know. So I invented myself. My locks started growing. Self-lock Boss Lady C. Lord, it's so much with that name, Jesus. I was having locks for 3 years. It seemed like those 3 years was just like, geez, okay. Look, let me be clear. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to be a content creator, and figure out where I was on the YouTube streets, and I didn't know. And so I was in the beef sector. If you don't know what the beef sector is, it's a part of YouTube where people of color go edit and beef 24 hours a day. That's literally their content. If they come and say it's not, please show me receipts where it's not the entire time. And so my behind was doing literally at a channel where all I did was beef with other content creators and subscribers, because subscribers get into it and everything else. I tried to be positive in the beef. My first mentorship program. This is not my first one. This is my second one. I attempted at that time. It fell through because the environment was a toxic environment. You could only grow in that box. You want to bitches do anything else, and you have to leave it. You'll be attached to it, and unfortunately, that channel had over 3,000 subscribers at the time, and every time I would try to leave it to try to do recaps and stuff for TV shows or whatever, my analytics would bring me right back to the beef sector, whether it be analytics of me seeing other bloggers, doing beef sector stuff, or subscribers who follow those. There's no shade to nobody, because I say do what you gotta do for yourself, your channel. It's just what it wasn't for me. Do I have more? I love doing graphics. I wasn't really doing a lot of that. I just was just out there. So deleting the channel was one of the best things that I did. But I was known for being a twerk queen. Let me tell you, I did a whole competition with one of the one of the bigger bloggers in the beef sector. And of course I won. Okay.
Of course.
But being known for being a twerk queen, and just be just want to do that. I mean, I don't care. Look, what it is. I got down, whatever. Okay.
And you
but,
still get down.
Maybe my right knee is telling me, girl, sit.
The mega knees don't work like they used to. Where'd she go? Well, while we waiting for her to get back in, she'll jump back in a minute. But
yeah, that
yes.
was it. So no, it's just for so yeah. So in the channel was the best thing for me. What else you want to know? You want to know whatever you want to know? I'm open book. Go ahead.
Yes, like what were the type of things that you would beef about, and with who? Like, did you have someone that you mainly beef with, or it was just?
Look, I even hate to say this child name, but let me tell you something. I literally went an entire year beefing with I think her name was Tracy, and Tracy with the T or some shit. Anyway, I used to talk about her so bad. I made songs about how she didn't clean her. It was just a lot. Okay, I made like whole songs about it. All my videos are down. But people may have screwed. I don't know. But maybe I called her. I'm not even gonna go there. All I know is that I made up names that they probably use in the beef. They may not even use it, but I called her all kind of names. It was just a bad situation. So, but the thing about in that area, most of the time you beefed about the craziest stuff. Maybe your subscribers was in their chat. You didn't like it. Your moderators, you have a moderator. You see them over there beefing. I mean, you're beefing with this person, but your moderator chat. You go live. My moderator is now blocked. You remove your moderator stick. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to deal with that no more. Yep. I moderated Demeter, the queen of my moderators in my chat. She can go wherever she want to go. She's a content creator. I can care less. But I'm just saying, those were some of the things, child. It was a lot, girl. I'm just people find your business out. They dox you, and me, that was a line that I was not going to cross. Now I know. Yes, I expose. Yes, I have exposed recently and have been for years. But there are things like, look, I don't know. I'm not going to put out your address, your phone number, your kids, and where you work and all. Doing that. Just don't do it. Now, we can do things like how I expose thing, but we'll get into that, whenever, put a ring on it and then even Red's love. But that to me is different. The bloggers and the beef sector are just regular, whatever. You just, there's Keisha across the street. She stopped. I couldn't get down with that. Me myself, I would get my car and I would drive to where you are. So instead of going through that, even it was just too much. You were stressed. It was just a lot, and it was not I wasn't happy with. What I'm saying. So for me, leaving that behind was one of the best things I could have done. It was hard. It was to create an entire different demographic, analytics, follow. Very, very difficult.
So now that you stopped that and you recreated yourself, repent and reformed as Cameshia Reviews. Now, did you take time off in between, or were you just like, you know what, I'm about to switch it up just like that and redo this? How did that transfer work for you?
The transfer was difficult. To start from 0 subscribers to where I am now, which I made almost. I mean, I think I'm 8,000 something. I can't remember, but 8,000 something. I can't remember exactly, but for me to start from zero, it was a lot of discouraging moments for me where I was feeling like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to grow the channel. I had so many moments where I felt like I'm just really wasting my time because, to delete an entire channel and to do a video, maybe 10, people watching, um, the followers going up very slowly just to get to 100, you're happy. You know, I had to humble myself and learn different things, whether it be a title, a thumbnail, whether it be just your audience, reading the room, a lot of things. I really had
8.34K to be exact.
okay, yes, thank you. And that's something I worked really hard to get.
Mina says you're going in and out too. It is hard to
Uh Hold
because
on.
you do
Can you
keep
still
going
not
in.
hear me?
Your mic keeps going in and out and blurring off and on.
Well, we had what I did was I had to reset the router, and that's why my mic, all that stuff is fine. But I hate that the internet is tied in, and I have a really big amount of juice to run it, and so I rebooted everything before I live, and I thought it may have messed it up further. So if it does, I apologize. But
We
yeah, it's just
working
kind of
with
working
it.
with me a little bit here. Yeah, just
We
work with
work.
me a little bit here, but yeah, it was a hard road. It was a lot of people like the Demita Joes, the Ebbies, the Really BTV, who knew what I was doing, and was the few in the beginning when I was doing it, supporting me behind the scenes, word hearing, or just being in the chat. And I think it was a lot of that. I really believe that content creators have got to have some kind of base support online, whether it be the new subscribers or just content creators. And I've learned that there's not a lot of that. I really feel like I built a community where I have introduced so many content creators to whether it be cast members, to shows, to other content creators. And that is something that's a part of my brand as well. United, building a community and support. Because I felt like for me, I did not receive that online. Not to say that anybody has, anybody was out anything. But I just said it's a nice thing because you can be very discouraged online starting at your channel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, even though you feel like you may have not had that much, support, you have started yet your second mentorship. And maybe the first one wasn't what you wanted it to be, but your second one is definitely doing well. I mean, you have some exceptional people in this mentorship,
Say
if I
it.
must say so myself. So what made you decide to do the mentorship again? And were you worried about how it would go the second time around?
Yes, I was concerned because the first time I went left, and I felt like some of the people that was in the program really, it was almost like the T.S. Madison and the Kaya situation, to make a reference of when you elevate and grow beyond what she was doing there, even though it was a home, they were trying to go beyond that, and Kaya wasn't ready for the upgrade. I kind of
Mm.
feel that's kind of what was going on with the first one. Also, I feel like I needed more time to be doing what I was doing. So anyway, that being said, uh, I really felt like all the growing pains I went through with Cameshia Reviews, the starting point, it made me really want to start it again, different focus, just different everything that I had before. And so that's where I went. And the city went pretty smoothly. Like, Dina was one of the first ones. She kind of motivated me because I saw she had a and saw she had, the get the gab, a lot of things, personality pop, and I felt like I think she should have a channel. It took a bit convincing, but I'm good at so it took me a bit convincing to because she wasn't receptive as her, Dina. Dina was like, no. So once I got could we expose, put a ring on it, it was everything. Her channel, started excelling. And in the midst of that, of course, you hit me up because you have your own story, of course. Mod, I just couldn't help it. Same thing for my. It's like some of you girls is just like it was a magnet. When you guys hit me up and I saw your channel, I was like, I want to see her do YouTube. When you told me that you didn't do YouTube and other things, that made me say, I'm gonna get her to do YouTube. I'm gonna get her to over 1,000. She's gonna be monetized, all these things. And we're still working on that too. I just thought about that. It's for me, it's just
Work with us, y'all. She's out. She's still here. She'll be back in. But yes,
no, I'm
this
here. I mean, I hate this stupid thing. But anyway, yeah, so you guys motivated me pretty much to do the second mentorship. But Dina started it. She did. She was a big motivator. And of course we all love Dina, aka Christina, period.
Hey, Christina. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
all the Cameshia
Yes.
Reviews crew mentorship. Miss Amita Joe, who's in the chat,
Yes.
of course. Life, Luck, Style, Lee with the T, of course. Zena's the
Mm-hmm.
mama, Mod is
Yes.
my girl, and who else do you have? Run down. Shout out to your mentors.
Erica,
Eric.
she's also I was working with a few others who, and also we have music and mental health.
Mental health.
Really, really proud of him because he created a second channel, also advice from me. That second channel is now monetized past 2,000 subscribers. It's the goals and stuff that I see like that really makes me say, what I'm saying, my method is working. There was a few, and I won't mention their names because I just don't want to, that you know, decided to move on. Some I'm still, some I'm just not. And it is what it is. Life goes on, trip, it is what it is. But that's life. Everybody's not gonna want to follow, not really follow, necessarily want to trust the process. So, and some people take for what I do and watch my formula or watch how I do things and attempt to try to copy it, even though I am the original, period. But it's
Period.
out there. It's out there. So it's fine.
Speaking of copying,
Mm,
you know, I'll admit myself, I wasn't really big on going on to YouTube and
okay.
watching bloggers talk about other shows and whatnot. And you were the first person, the first blogger that I ever went to YouTube and
Oh
watched
wow.
talk about a show before, ever. I was not into that. The only reason why I went to YouTube literally was to watch Tasha K talk shit. Other than
Okay.
that, I wasn't. I didn't start coming to YouTube more
Mm,
until Cameshia Reviews. So
wow.
you introduced me to a big, broader spectrum. I never even told you that, but you did. And
Mm,
so all I've ever known was the Cameshia Reviews panel. I've never seen another panel before, nothing like it before. And I was so honored when you asked me to be a part of it. And I thank you so
mm,
much for that opportunity still. And I have seen a lot of other people do that same footwork. Not many will admit where they got that formula from,
mm,
but we do know. But first, I
mm.
want to talk for that. I want to talk about how did you get into and think of the panel? When did that come to you?
Oof. That was years ago. You know what? It's just that I was thinking about go to the View, everybody does, and how the View would talk about different topics, different personalities. Even people would get into it with each other. It was a lot. And I was like, man, Ready to Love was for bloggers who were coming up. I was already doing it. It was a few others who were pioneers with me, but the rest of them just was getting started. I'm talking about Ready to Love. And so I was like, I want to do something different than what they're doing because now they're starting to do what I'm already doing already. I'm always trying to do something different. So I created the panel. I reached out to certain bloggers that I knew covered the show, or if they didn't cover the show, aka Ebby, they would bring a lot to the table. And I didn't know what was gonna happen. I know it'd be a flop. I didn't know. Um, but when I reached out and first started doing it, like it would become so popular. It was like everyone news every Saturday at 12:15 Central Standard Time. I'm gonna have the panel and we're gonna be discussing and dissecting ready to be a mess, and I'm using good. People may say, oh, she's dropping tea, and I do that as well. But I also entertain. When you watch the panel of those ladies, and going back and forth about different topics, it's not always like sunshine and roses. A lot of times they're talking about things they don't like, going off, whatever it may be, going off against each other, not agreeing. That makes the panel so good. It's why it lasted for so many years. It's still going on to this day. So I took that same, formula and put it with some people of who watch a people of color reality TV show. And it became very popular. One of my popular shows that I started myself as a producer. Cameshia Reviews is like a CBS. Cameshia Reviews is like a Paramount Plus. That is a brand itself. Channel, and it will be one day. So when people come to my panel, they say, "I love this panel." We've been doing this for years. We've gone back as far as years of doing these shows, and the fact that I've had so many guests and the women of the show that rock like to be, I call my who was one of the originals, who has been on the show from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's that's kind of support too, having the cast on there that also made it sing. Because it's like they're giving their opinion, but they were on the show before and they're in a tight position because giving your opinion about a show you were on, you got to be careful. But I love it because they're going to also give that opinion that's like, okay, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I've been there, done that. Maybe this happened, that voice that I think a panel needs in discussing a TV show. And it turned into, I would have we review panel, which is the name of my brand, also is branched out. I have a panel for Love Marriage DC. I have a panel for different shows, but it still is we review panel. It just different TV shows, and sometimes it might be different panel members, but it doesn't matter because we're still doing the same formula. We're talking about a TV show. We're being entertaining. We're being silly. We're having a good time. We have guests that come on there. It's a fun time. It's what I want it to be, light and fun. So,
Yes, it's a
Mhm.
fun time. It's a good time. It's a
Yes.
dramatic time. You have a lot of the cast members that also follow and are in the chat. And as Miss Mita Joe has just mentioned, and somehow the cast always find themselves in the chat. Yeah. So how do you, when you first started seeing the cast members start showing up in your chat, how did that make you feel? What did that do for you?
Well, I felt like I'm gonna be transparent. It was an honor to actually see them in the chat because people started screenshotting it. Because especially my wild days where I'd be getting a chat going in and going off with somebody or whatever. I didn't know what was going on. It was like, you girls DM me behind the scene. Commission so and so in the chat. I wouldn't know. And I almost got to shout out Kid My Cheeks TV, also on my mentees. Almost I don't want to forget Miss Kid My Cheeks TV. I go follow her as well.
Shout out Kiss
Um,
My Cheeks.
yes, it was just it was exciting to see in the chat. They would get their opinions. Sometimes be good and bad. Not gonna lie. Sometimes they be in the chat talking shit like, y'all wrong, da da da. But they would still be there, and I knew they were watching. I knew they were watching from Put a Ring on It. Shout out to Dina, aka Christina. We had all people who watched Put a Ring on It, producers, everybody was in looking. I had the email to prove it. So they've been looking ever since. But it was cool. It was cool.
Let's talk about that briefly for a minute because that was a whole entire thing when Dina, aka Christina, and you interviewed, and she completely threw the whole entire show storyline off base. Um, what was that time like for you, and how crazy was that to deal with? Because that seemed like a lot. You've got an unknown cast, a person who's not even a cast member who's blowing up the spot completely. You've got the whole entire exclusive, and now it's your name on this. How do you deal? How did you deal? See, we missing the first part. I know her phone is out right now. Because that was a mess. Dina, I need to be interviewing you this on you. My Afro Mama is in the building. Hey, boo,
I am
hey,
sorry, y'all. Child, it's
hey.
a hot mess.com over. I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
start
here.
from
You
the
can
beginning.
confess your
We didn't
secret.
hear nothing.
Hey,
Okay,
I didn't even say anything. First of all, let me take me a sip. Answer the question again. Hey, Mod.
okay.
And go ahead.
So when the whole entire thing blew up, when you and Dina blew up the spy in the internet with the storyline of put a ring on it, we will not name the names of the people on the show, but we know, everyone knows. How did you navigate that? What was that like behind the scenes? Because what we saw is what we saw, but I know there was a lot of behind the scenes navigation. So give us a little bit of how that went for you.
Well, put a ring on it. First of all, Dina, interviewing her, I had no idea. The video to this day has over 47K. Like that video blew up. Okay. Um, Dina she's a transparent person. So when I interviewed her, she was very transparent about her situation. And I never understood why.
Ma, what you getting done to your hair? What you trying to do? Where you and Mr. Ma going?
I'm here. She was a big part of the storyline, and I never understood why is it that she wasn't talked about more, because she actually dated the guy and all kind of things and knew all the information, and starting with her, it made me start. It made me no, I don't know what's going on. I rebooted my system. It's tripping. Now y'all reading me. Anyway, when I started when I interviewed Dina, it started me going to interviewing the other people in his life, other women in his life, and it went this rabbit hole that was created. Because she even helped me with that. We were behind the scenes, just looking up and checking all these people out, and it was so many women. This internet is not cheap, ma'am. Get your life. But anyway,
Ma,
going
you
down,
got
going, going down a rabbit hole, and finding out about the other women that was in his life, we come to find out that the whole situation was a lie, blew up a whole situation where it's like, you guys lied about a whole storyline. And that was the big thing that they didn't want to know. They didn't want anybody to know about, and why everybody was so mad at me. And that's just the real tea.
real tea.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel, because you have had I don't even know if it's a love, I don't even know what to call this type of relationship you have with the OWN network, because it's
Complicated.
it's complicated on Facebook. It's complicated.
Yes.
Um you have been kind of, I don't know if the word blackballed is the right word to use, but it's the only word that kind of seems fitting at this point, that I feel that you kind of were at one point. There was a time where you would try to get your interviews, even set up the interviews, approve the interviews with the other person, and everything is a go. And then all of a sudden, oh, I can't do the interview with Cameshia Reviews. I seem like at that point, that's when your frustration became a thing with the network, because they was really not letting you be great, and it wasn't really fair.
Hmm.
So talk to me about your relationship with them, and how, where you stand with them now, and how you feel about them now.
Where I now is, it is what it is. I'm gonna do me. I'm older. At the time, just recovering the show and feeling like the loyalty I had for the cast in the past. Feeling like, why am I being penalized because I'm covering the story? I am being a tea spiller, as they call me in the streets,
In the
and
stripes.
saying the things that I'm being penalized because I felt like that lighthearted and own wanted to have control of the narrative and the coins. I don't blame them to a point, but if you're smart, let the bloggers talk at the time. And sometimes I still think that they control of the narrative. Let the bloggers be great, even when they said, "Oh, that video that some of us were a part of," you put a suspense, not an acknowledgement they were bloggers, that we actually covered the show and promote it. It was a lot where I feel like I've done so much pocket to just get my thing going as far as being a blogger, covering your show or pre-press. Ready to Love is a cult show. When I mean by cult following, excuse me, rephrase that, a cult following. If you go to certain places and about that show, they're gonna be like, "What is that?" I'm being honest. They're gonna say, "What is that show?" The people that follow Ready to Love, they follow it very hard, and they're big fans of it. And there's no shade. They follow the blogger, they follow everything attached to the show, right? And not everybody about this show. I know that for a fact. As well as, like you look at Bravo, how they move, they bring everybody included, including the bloggers. There's just so much, I feel like it's almost like small time. And for it to get bigger, they have to change a few things. I'm just being transparent about that. But our relationship has been rocky. Some things I had to learn. Some things I agree with now. I was wilding out, especially back then, baby. I'll get on the live and call you everything but a child of God and say, keep your interview. And I don't care if you're watching me, But for me to want a certain thing, I had to do you really want? And then now I'm at a point where it's like, it doesn't matter if I interview one person out this season. The one I interview is usually the one that's most controversial. The one I interview is going to be probably the star of the show. And I did this season. Last season, I was the first blogger Ready to Love to do in-person interviews. Nobody did that, and they still have not.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to always be up here when I send the Queen Reality TV. That's some real stuff. Haters can say, da-da-da-da-da. I have receipts to prove it. My resume shows it, period.
Boop. So you, speaking of rocky relationships, you've also had quite a few rocky relationships with a couple of other bloggers in this Ready to Love put a ring on it own sector.
Yes, Jesus.
We're candid here. We can name the name. You have had a rocky relationship with Little Black Book coach out here. So please, for those who may not know, how did
I'm here.
Any of this even start to become a thing? Because I feel that it was a time where it could have been where you two were put against each other. And
it just little Black Book? Little Black Book?
Yes, Little Black. Let's talk about Little Black Book.
So Little Black Book, I feel like we were of some of the OGs that started doing the OWN network recaps and just talking about different things. He always had I always felt like different, where he liked to break down, really dig in relationship, childhood, what happened, why you don't like her, just whatever. For me, I wanted to get to what the things that we didn't get to see on the episode, the gray area, as I call it. If there was a fight or an argument on the TV show, that episode, I want to know where it started. Maybe the show editing didn't show that part, so I want to see what happened. Do you see what I'm saying? So I say all that to say that my point of view was giving the cast members an opportunity to speak about things that the audience didn't get to see, a different point of view. I always felt like my channel was for that. And so I became known as a tea spiller, because if your show is basically about breaking down relationships and, being like a relationship psychiatrist, sort of kind of like in that direction, I'm going to be known for a tea spiller, because I am spilling tea, but I'm also asking real questions. I'm also trying to break it down for the audience. But for a Black woman, if she screams and hollers, or if she drops some information that no one knew about, that's going to be all that they name me as. And that's more, my brand is way more than that. So the rivalry between us, I always felt like, and I still to this day feel like it was built because of subscribers, which his fan base is mostly women. I'm just being transparent,
Mm-hmm.
mostly women. And they like to hear this man from a different country. And I'm gonna break it down like this: you got a man from a different country, he's a black man, what I'm saying, has deep voice. Then women like that, they're gonna defend him to the earth, to the end of the earth. Okay. Even if they're not in that direction, they still gonna defend him. A black woman, they're gonna penalize, call her a T-spiller, call her all kind of name, whatever, drag her. The people that fight for me online are day one subscribers and my mentees, and that's cool. And some cast members who rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about. Look, I got hit up recently in my inbox saying, "We support you," and it was the Bloods. I'm just being honest. I was like, "Hey, love, support, come where it come." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a G like that online. I'm not tripping. I am. The fuck. I'm
Oh
on
my
Shannon Sharp.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, great.
So recently there was a little hiccup because even to this day, it seems like there seems to be little things between you. So this little itty bitty thing happened recently, and he did apologize, and you guys are good with that now. But what was that all about? Because even now, it seems like it still comes a time where you two just seem to clash for just a little bit,
Well, this is the thing. When we had a little powwow, maybe a year or two ago, I came on this platform and we spoke about our differences like two adults. His
And your
chat,
people were in the chat, his people in the
baby,
chat,
yeah,
and it was
yeah,
like East Coast
was
versus West Coast beef. We was
it
in there
was
representing. Shout out
it was
to
a
the
lot.
Reviews crew.
Period. Come on, crew. So with that being said, after that, it was like truth. Say a nigga, I would not allow my chats to think negative about him, just nothing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so recently, after I wasn't even part of the conversation, I just interviewed LaRon the day before. So I was wondering, was that the reason? I never knew where it came from. I knew he's interviewing LaRon and da da da. He's like, I guess he asked a question about his childhood or something. And I guess he was never receptive, or I don't want to talk about it, whatever. He was like saying, you know what you get over here, what kind of question I'm going to ask you. I'm not here to get the tea. That's Cameshia Reviews. I'm just like, whoa, I'm here to ask you real questions. Going like that, I'm like, that was unnecessary. I knew his fans were going to even go off. I was very calm when I spoke. I wasn't mad or anything. I wanted the point to get across what I was saying was, I don't think you're malicious or anything, but what you said was no, bro, wasn't. And what you said was offensive to my brand. I'm going to stand on that, speak out on it. Don't give a damn about your subscriber with saying that. The girls are going to get mad. I don't care. They come to my chat. Oh, we're here to support, but he didn't say anything bad about you. This man apologized. You don't apologize if you don't think something wrong. He even quoted and said, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, his fans are still coming to my chat. He didn't say the negative about you. It's people coming to your channel. Just take it what it is. It's part of your brand. It is a part of my brand. So much more. When I've interviewed people from Netflix, speaking of Squid Game, The Challenge was the #1 show for November to the 1st of this year. It wasn't about tea. It was about the experience of being on a Netflix reality TV show with tea. So for people to brand me as that, it doesn't make any sense when I do so much more. That's where the frustration lies. And for him to apologize about it, I can't do anything but respect him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, one other blogger that you seem to have little things with, not as much as, well, maybe as much and on a different level, but Crystal XO. We know that there is times where, because we know previously that is who Dina previously was going to interview with, and you snatched that up. So tell me about your back and forth and how it has been with her, because that's also another one that I'm just like, wow.
It's never really been like extremely big or nothing really nasty or nothing like that. It was like a small dose. I can remember, and that's my memory not that great, like a lot. When I was doing the interview with Dina, and then when she spoke about, but she never mentioned my name, which I think it's very someone to talk about someone's interview or a topic that they covered or tea spilled, as they say, and not give the person that name. That's just so disrespectful to me. But she kept calling Dina like the lady or some mess, and everyone knew who Dina was, but she wasn't a blogger yet. But we had done this beating that blew up. It was trending everywhere. She kept talking about it and calling her the lady, and we were all in the chat like, "Girl, her name is Dina." And so it started with that. And I made a comment about her talking about some interview where she brought Dina up. She hopped in my chat and was like, "Are we beefing now?" or some comment. I went off like, "Girl, you don't want this. No, you do not want this, ma'am. So please go back over there." Okay. And then I told you about me, and I was wilding back then. Now, with that being said, um, we never really said anything. It was never like, I'm doing a whole video, it was nothing like that. It just was sometime I felt like, okay, you are a part of this big rolling out, you have all these connections. I'm just an old blogger over here. I'm just doing my thing organically without a mentor, without any connections, without any magazine or anybody. I'm all of it. Production, the whole thing. So when I started doing things, and people hit me and say, "Hey, she's doing it too." Mind you, let me say this: we all in this thing. We can all do it, same thing, right?
Absolutely.
But I try to do mine in a different way. But people would tell me they would notice similarities. Now, I didn't get too deep into it or anything, but with Ready to Love, I can remember when her and Kojo would do things together with OWN. I was just like, I'm not tripping because I'm still the queen of this. I still get the exclusive without even having to ask. And for me, it's like, I don't have to have that. I don't have to have this big company behind me. Everything I've gotten has been organic, or because of hard work, or because of support I have behind the scenes. And I'm proud of that. Not saying that because you have network connections, hey, you got that's a blessing too, right? I just said a different way to get where you got to go. But for me, mine is different because there's a lot of hard work involved and nobody helps me. And even when I was being passed over for interviews because you had to get it first, and see this thing about it, behind the scenes, not saying no one's names, I would know things. I would know Ron, who interviewed with me, and back then, the big thing to do was get an interview with Crystal. Okay.
Mm,
You were on the show as a cast member because the
right.
production laid it out that way. They have a relationship with Rolling Out. So Crystal's a part of that. So production is like interview with Crystal. Right.
Hmm.
Just like they want them. That's why I recommend them to go to that Facebook page, but with what's her name? I can't stand her name. Anyway, I forgot her name. Anyway, the Facebook group. It's all the same thing. Controlling the narrative. You go here, you go here. I know if you interview Crystal, I will be able to control what is said, what is asked, compared to going to a Cameshia Reviews, a Dina, Confessions, whoever they go to, under this contract or whatever, or not contract, relationship. Um, Sometimes people would say that they would have to interview me either later or not, and I would find out they would have to interview with her. Now
Mm,
there was some cast member that told me back in the day, it was like, I don't care, I'm interviewing with you, I rock with you. So I found out later that it is up to the cast member. But cast members think interviewing with her is some big deal. There are some bloggers on, yes, there are some bloggers on here who interviewed and got more views than her video did. But because of who she's attached to, those cast members think, oh, I got to interview with Crystal. And so it was just a lot of that going on. And for me, I started saying, I'm just gonna do my interviews and get them when I can get them, and I'm not gonna worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I will go off and say all kind of crap. But like I said, again, this is me coming up and figuring out myself that I'm not about to be begging for nothing, especially when I have NBC or Netflix in my inbox or my email and making arrangements. When I started to get the interviews with Big Brother and all the different networks I was doing, I'm like, I love Rich Love. I love it. It's my home. But other people are not making this difficult. So I'm gonna move on. And I did for a while. I would
Mhm.
do one interview, maybe I just started doing other stuff. It made me open to other networks and other races and just other analytics. They made it easier for me to just, be more than just on network shows.
Absolutely. So you like you just mentioned, Ready to Love was like your first show. I say Ready to Love is your bottom bitch because you have so many more now, but Ready to Love is your baby.
Yeah.
What is it about Ready to Love that you just attached to and gravitated to? Because you definitely succeed.
I don't even know, to be honest. When I first started doing, when I decided I was gonna do Cameshia Reviews, it's gonna be about TV shows. My first show I actually started doing was Sisters on BET, and I noticed I was getting like, 'cause Sisters had just come out, and I was getting all these views and all the things, but I was doing it wrong. I was showing clips and all this stuff. My videos were getting flagged. It was a lot. I was, again, process learning.
Mm-hmm.
um Ready to Love, I started watching that from the very first show, but the first season, and I'm no shade, it wasn't as popping. It was a little bit, their baby getting started. It wasn't until like the second season and third, all these things, and getting to know the cast, especially Miami. I mean, Houston, Miami, Houston first. I'm sorry, Texas. I was like, okay, this is Texas. We gotta go. Resort. Um, I started noticing. I started getting these subscribers like quickly. Channel was growing. I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta follow it. You see, I would say, I haven't said in a while, but follow the wave. I see in my channel popping up videos and people watching it. And I was like, you know what? This is really good. And I started noticing
We'll wait for her.
yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Just saying that I followed the wave and figured out that I needed to follow this direction.
Yeah. So with Ready to Love, what would you say is your favorite season that you think you
Uh
connected with the most? Would it be this season, or because this is your hometown, or is it another season?
um, that's a good question, actually. Texas, I will say I've always loved Houston. The connections that I got from the Houston cast from both seasons is crazy. That I have to this day. Um, Dallas, I don't know, because Dallas really has pissed me off a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I expected so much more being in my hometown. I almost feel like I kept saying on my live, "Come on, come to Dallas, on network, bring it to Dallas." I said it all of the time on the
You did.
panel,
You
and
did.
I felt like they listened to me, and I'm just like, baby, I don't know why I said it, because Dallas had been so much. Anyway, Houston to me, and I'll, maybe expound more of it at the end of this season once it ends. But Dallas, I'm sorry, Houston, favorite season. Resort, I have some of my best connections from there.
Could there ever be another resort? Do you think we'll ever get another resort?
I really, I really think that would be a good idea. A lot of fans have talked about it more than one time. Other bloggers who cover the show spoken about it. I know they have heard it. Not sure why they haven't thought about doing that. 'Cause that would be a great idea.
And out of all of your interviews from Ready to Love, who has been your top three favorite interviews?
Girl, I wasn't even ready for that one. Uh, hmm. Damn. Well, I know for sure Simone. I've interviewed her like I think 4 or 5 times, and this I did where it taught me a lot about being an interviewer and just doing Ready to Love period and how fans react to my interviews. Um, Damn, you really stumped me with this one. I want to say I really I really want to say the interview I did with Eric, because nobody had interviewed Eric that season, and the topic was was crazy. You said Ready
Yes,
to Love, right? We're talking about Ready to Love.
yes,
Okay,
I
okay.
did. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Eric, that was another one because it was a big one. It was a big one. I did an interview once four people on there, even though I got four. It was Carmen, Joy, everybody named Mama came on there. It was a really good interview. We covered so much. Was that Miami? I guess that was Miami. That was one because it was like chaos. You know, I love chaos. But I have so many favorites. I have so many favorites that honorable mentions, of course. I've interviewed Stacey B by herself, and then I interviewed her, her and her bestie, Chris, on the show. I that really were like popping. So, but um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you caught me on that one.
Who would be, without naming names because you may not want to, but why if you don't want to name the name? Who is your least favorite? Like, is there anyone that you were like, I could have done without that interview? Please don't speak yet because the mic is out right now. Hold on for a second.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was like, please blank out my least. You wrong for this shit right here.
I told you I was
Um,
going to ask you some things.
I do have one that was my least, and it's because he talked so much. I couldn't really get it wasn't that he talked so much. I just couldn't really I was trying to follow the conversation. I don't know. It was just a lot. I'm saying behind the scenes who it was. It was a lot trying to get him to stay focused on what we're speaking about, talking a whole lot about himself. It was just, girl.
Why do
Yes.
I feel like I know?
It was I love him though, like real talk. I do. I
Love him.
do. I do. I do. But
Love
that
him.
interview, I was like, what the hell? I watched the results. I'm like, what is going it was like because I think sometimes when you're in that type of show, that kind of environment, and you watching the show, you probably get so emotional, mad, upset, whatever. It just reminds you about damn, I forgot I was mad that time that was going on. I can't imagine. So yeah, I'm not naming names though.
No, we're not naming names. And of course, Davita, what a start the roster off. Davita,
I am not naming names. I cannot stand anybody on this channel right now. I'm not naming names because I've interviewed many different men that talked a lot, so it could be anybody. But anyway, moving on. Next
moving right
case.
along.
Oh
So,
Lord.
besides Race Love, that is your baby. I mean, you will always be there for that. Do you think you will always do Ready to Love as long as it'll go?
Yeah. Necessarily don't know how about the interviews, how they may go for myself, what I want to do, honestly, in the future. But I always cover it. My panel will always cover it. If some crap go on, I'll probably talk about it. But interviewing for me and push after this season and the disrespect, that's a question mark. But yeah, I'll always cover it.
Absolutely. So, now that you have branched out, how do you feel do you see yourself in any more of a different light and learn more about yourself since you have branched out just from own shows? I mean, you're doing Paramount Plus, Netflix, CBS, I mean, MTV. I mean, you've done Love is Blind, The Challenge, my favorite, Big Brother, my favorite. I mean, Cameshia, you are really just everywhere now, honey. Everywhere. So, what have you learned about yourself since you have branched out this far?
I have learned that you have to step out on faith, and it may positive at first or even easy, but the rewards are like great. I want to elevate more and more. It's really pushing me. And to know that I can do it is everything. So yeah, it motivates me to do more. and I still have more. My belly is super, super hot. I gotta keep feeling it. I'm a hungry, hungry blogger. Period.
Yes, you are. So, what is next for you, and where do you see yourself or hope to see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
To be, and I also want to go on a reality TV show one of these days. That's something I just want to do because I talk about it so much. I have to get on one of them, and I'm gonna be a producer. It's my biggest thing, and just build my mentees. I love to mentor. It's really becoming a thing for me, part of my brand. So yeah, create a community, getting bigger, and yeah, that's pretty much it, girl. I just want to see my stuff. I want to see myself get to the heights, my YouTube channel to get as high as possible, to where I could just be doing this only and nothing 9 to 5. Okay,
Oh, that's what we're trying to get to. Now, would you ever go on Ready to Love?
girl. No, I mean, no. Let me not lie. I would, but they would never ask me to do that. But I mean, if they were like have like a women over 50 years old in a couple of years, you know what I'm saying, a certain age, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
Are you ready to
Mhm.
love, Miss Cameshia? What is Cameshia's love life like right now?
Right now, her love life is good. I am, damn. I'm just talking. Come on, chat and show Junior like over here, like it sits over here. I'm gonna just say I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place. I'm back with somebody that's been in my life for a long time. So I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
That's
good.
all y'all getting.
Nice. Okay, just a little bit. So what is your type anyway? Just in case if this ain't what works out and someone might be thinking, what is Cameshia's type?
Got to deal with a lot. Honestly, whatever you do on your goal life, he grinding is my biggest thing. I love for a man to grind, but he has to deal a lot with me. I'm not gonna lie. My mom will tell you, I don't think I'm easy in no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I think I do keep a man on his toes. I'm pretty sure I could be annoying at the same time. Because when it comes to what I want to do, I'm gonna push that. And so you got to be able to deal with or tell me, baby, you got to chill. This is what we got going on. And for a man that I love or a man that's really gonna get me, understand me, you know what I'm saying? I'll be able to deal with that. But I can't deal with a weak man. This is not gonna work. So no shade. Sorry.
Okay, for a fun thing, hypothetically, out of the men on the show, the top three, if you could fit all three men into one to make your perfect, what would be the three men from any of the seasons of Ready to Love?
Mm.
Because we've known that you have had a couple of crushes. Because I know for me, I always have a number one on each season. But what
Wait a
are your
minute. Who
top
who
three?
who was in the past? Wait, hold on. Who was in the past?
I remember you had like You want me to name names?
Yes. Yes. I don't care.
Because
Who
I,
was it?
I remember you really when Donovan came onto the scene, you really
Oh
liked
yes.
Donovan.
Mm. Yes, he knows that. Yes. Girl. So it'll be him.
Shout out to
I would I would
Donovan.
say him, LaRon, and Chaz. But you know what's a good well, I feel like still wants Stacey to this day. On her season, oh my god, why can't I think of his name? Smile
Oh,
real
who's
big. Stacey. He was in Houston. I always felt like to this day that her and him would be like her Stacey B and him would be so cute together. I don't know why I can't think of his name. He with Joy on his season. Her name was Joy, ironically, with all the pretty hair and everything.
oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So he would be the number 4 the sauce. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, I
Oh
know
Lord.
that you have another interview coming up soon, and I cannot keep you long. I have so many more things to ask, but before I let you go,
Do a
you
part 2.
have not only this channel, but you have your barbecue channel. You have what other channels do you have out here in these YouTube streets?
Well, yes, Jay Bradley. That's his name. So right now I have the barbecue channel and then the Cameshia Reviews.
He was
celebrity
my
clips and
number one that
everything.
season.
Yes, let me tell you. That channel doing really well. It's almost at 400. I'm trying to get the 5 so I can get that monetized. I'm monetized. My makeup and more for dark skin black women is really, 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 really good. So we're just pushing those and my review channel. So those and all my brands are Cameshia Reviews Incorporated. So brand is very
Yeah.
important, guys.
Yes,
So yeah.
including this backdrop right here, who Cameshia also made for me, and the countdown she also made for me. So she is
Yes.
not to be played with. She is good, and if any of y'all is thinking about becoming a mentor, she is the one to get to. She do what she got to do, and she gives you all you need at a price you cannot beat. I promise you, you will not regret that. So, what is your next interview that we can look out for, Miss Interview Queen?
I cannot say. It's gonna be a
Is it that
surprise.
good? Woo!
It is. It is. It's going to be a
Woo!
surprise. You guys are going to flip. So I can't say what it is. You guys will find out today. I dropped the trailer.
Oh,
So with that being
right.
said,
Stick around.
yes, yeah, I'll be prepared. And just
Okay.
just guys. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It was really good. Of course, nobody could do it like you, ma'am. The first interview I did was trash. So my bad. So had to be you. Had to
In
take
the trash.
over that. Thank you. I did. I did. Said it. Hmm.
Well,
Love
you
you.
brand me good, honey. Of course. Of course. Of course.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am. Hmm.
now you can catch Cameshia Reviews on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Station Head, on just about every platform you can find. She is on. So make sure y'all look out for her.
My
There
podcast. Don't forget my podcast.
Yes, she has the
Don't forget the podcast.
podcast, honey. The podcast
Yes.
is everything. You just make sure you watch out for her because she has a lot going on and she can teach you some things without you even knowing some things. Okay. Now, Cameshia, I want
Oh,
to thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for all that you have taught me. Thank you so much for the group of women you have
yeah.
introduced me to. Thank you so much for showing me what blogging and sisterhood is like in this blogging world. Thank you for everything. And I know you are going to do so much more. And I can't wait to catch up with you again when you have reached new levels, honey.
Thank you, Mama. I appreciate it. Oh my God. Ooh, this is everything. Thank you, sweetie.
You have a
And I'm
beautiful
going
day.
for so
And
I
we will
appreciate
see.
it. Yes, love y'all.
Mwah. And that was Cameshia Reviews, honey. You better recognize. Okay. That was a long time coming. Y'all just don't understand. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thank you for everyone who commented, Mr. Mita Joe. Thank you for making sure we got all the facts right. It could be anyone. Could it? That was a lot of fun. I told you I was going to ask her some things. Cameshia had no idea what I was going to ask her. So thank her for being an open book and all that good jazz. So it is what? Saturday. So that means it is Love and Marriage DC night. Okay. And that means you can catch her panel tomorrow morning, afternoon, 12:45, you depending on what time you are in your time zone. I'm gonna see if I can make it tomorrow. I made it today for her panel of Ready to Love that y'all better be watching because it goes on like no other every Saturday. Okay. And I will be doing my live of Raise Love in DC this coming week. So watch out for that. But I will hope to be getting on the live tomorrow if there is room. If there is room, because and you never know what's going to happen. So again, everybody, thank you for coming through. I will see y'all later for a variety show. We are going to talk about Bad and Bougie. We're going to talk about that girl who on TikTok who got scared. Who was she dating? That whole entire 25 story thing. We're gonna talk about that. Hopefully, if I can get to it, we're gonna talk about Iyanla and Nick Cannon's a little thing that they did. What is it called? It's not cancel culture, but it's something culture. But it's a lot going on, and we're gonna talk about it. So thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for watching. You know how we do out here. Be safe, and we out this nasty.